Hey everybody, this is Mark Vogel here for my Module 6 discussion. And the first thing to discuss was my SMART goal, just to remind everybody what that was. The two SMART goals I came up with, the first was student retention in the Algebra 1 classroom. One thing I've noticed over the past few years is, math is something where these kids, they understand it like when we're learning it in class, they're doing the homework. But a few months down the road, and even over summer when they come back to school in the fall, a lot of them struggle with retention and retaining what they've learned. So that's one of my SMART goals, and the other is to help students who are absent, to help them from getting behind, and so that they can keep up with the class and what we're learning. The blended model I chose was the station rotation, and the classes I'll be using this in are my Algebra 1B classes. They consist of ninth grade students. I have two sections that I'll be teaching this in. So the first period class I have is 22 students, and the fifth period class has 23 students. So they're both pretty good sizes. They're not large. I've had north of up to 30 students in classes like this before. So I think this is a good size for the station rotation model. And then they're both college prep classes, and the stations, I have it over here on the right. Up front will be the teacher-led station, and as Liz suggested, I think I'm going to do more of a U-shaped with the desks here for the teacher-led station. The independent station will be in the middle, and then with their iPads, and then in the back there'll be two groups in the collaborative station. So overall, I'll have three total groups: the collaborative, the individual, and the teacher guided. So each group will have anywhere from 7 to 8 students in it. And the one model that I liked from I think this was in Unit 5, was here they have the 90-minute instructional model. I have 80 minutes, so my hope is to do kind of like a whole class directed instruction for 20 minutes together. Go over any homework questions from the day before, kind of go over some quick practice problems, and then get into 3 stations where instead of doing 20 minutes, I'd like to try 15 minutes to kind of keep them moving a little bit. And so that'd be 45 minutes throughout the stations with 20 minutes up front, so that'd be 65 minutes. So we'd have about 15 minutes for a class wrap-up. Now, in the teacher-led station, I would be doing practice problems with the students. They would be doing problems on the whiteboards. I get them up to the front chalkboard and the side chalkboard. So I could kind of work one-on-one with them and get in a small group. The independent station would be, I could have a YouTube video or two up where the students can kind of revisit what I taught at the beginning, and they would be taking a quizzes independently. So here's the example of the one I would be using, and I use quizzes from time to time, and the kids kind of work at their own pace. I will actually have them do all the problems on scrap paper, so it's all multiple choice, but they'll have to write the problem down, solve it, and then I will collect their scrap paper when they are finished. The one I currently have for this lesson will be 25 units, 25 questions. If they finish them all, great. I'll tell them if they only get 20 of them done or whatever, that's fine. I'll collect their work. But this kind of differentiates where they can kind of work at their own pace. So the station in the back, I think I saw this from Justin when he mentioned this a few modules ago, is I'd like to have the students break up. So if there's 7 or 8 students in each group, so each table would have 3 to 4 students. And I'm just going to put desks of 4 in a group here because I don't have tables. But I would like to have the students work collaboratively on Keystone review problems. So this will help a little bit with retention, where they can see the problems that they might have seen in the first semester or a couple months ago, and they can really work together to solve these problems. And then when we get back together in the final 15 minutes or so for the class wrap-up, I'll go over the answers to those Keystone practice problems, and we kind of have a little competition and see which group does the best for those Keystone practice problems. And also for the quizzes, it's a great formative assessment for me because I can see each individual kid's results up on my computer, and I can also have a class average where it shows me the entire average for the whole class. And the reason I'll be making the students do their work on scrap paper on the quizzes here is that way they're taking their time. They're not just rushing through and guessing, but they're writing the problems down, less likely to make mistakes, and that way I can give them a grade and check their work to hold them accountable. But I think this would be about 15 minutes for each station, and it allowed me to work with a small group up here with students, and I kind of throughout this station up front, I can kind of get a gauge of, are the students doing well with these topics? Do I need to do more reteaching on certain topics? And at the end, when we do the class wrap up, if there's any extra time, I might give them a few minutes to start the homework. That way they know what is expected of them to be done for the next day. I appreciate you watching my video, and I'm looking forward to using this lesson in my classes in the near future here.